Everyone rise. Hear ye, hear ye. The Hamlin County Commission is now open for session. The Honorable Howard Shipley presiding. Please remain standing.
We'll call this meeting of the Hamlin County Legislative Body to order at this time. We are honored to have with us again tonight the Reverend Ben Showen, lead pastor of the Arrowhead Church. And I'm going to ask him to come and lead us as we pray together, please.
That's right. Heavenly Father, thank you for all we have to celebrate in these days. Thank you for sending your Son. Lord, thank you for this place we live and the blessing of calling it home. And thank you for these men and women who serve. We pray for wisdom and for your leading tonight as you continue to be at work in our community. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Commissioner Minnick, would you lead us in pledge, please?
Salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Commissioners, everything is going to be done off the board tonight. So as your name is called for the roll call, please respond. And then when we have motions and seconds, would you please raise your hand so that we can make sure that we know who makes the motion. Okay.
Jeff Akins,
Present.
Chris Cutshaw,
Here.
Randy DeVore,
Here.
Thomas Doty,
Here.
Tim Goins, Bobby Hahn,
Here.
Tim Horner,
Here.
Joe Hudson,
Here.
Eileen Arnwine,
Here.
Mike Minnick,
Here.
Wayne Neesmith,
Here.
Howard Shipley,
Here.
Jim Stepp,
Here.
Taylor Ward.
And we have a quorum present, so we're open for business. At this time, we have several employees that we would like to recognize for years of service, and I'm going to ask Sheriff Jonigan and Jerry Hambrick to please come to the well at this time.
It's with great pleasure that I present this 10-year award to Hambrick. That's what we call him at the sheriff's department, among other things. And he's even got the nerve enough to turn in his resignation on me. So I'm tempted just to keep this. But he's moving on to the next chapter in his life, and he did share with me that he will never go back into law enforcement. So with this, with great honors, I give you this 10-year recognition. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask for Teresa Terry and Kathy Jones Terry, and also Commissioner Doty. Please come to the way.
I am very pleased and privileged to be her boss. Teresa has been here 30 years, guys, 30 years. So we talked about how we should name some room in the courthouse after her or something, you know, because she's been here so long and she's still hanging on. So I am very pleased to present you with this award for 30 years, and I hope we'll be here together for 30 more. Yes.
Commission and this county government, thank you so much. 30 years is a milestone. I've done it with Molly, so I know what it takes to do it, and we do really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Our next recipient is unable to be with us today, but I'm going to ask Commissioner DeVore to please come at this time to recognize her.
Well, we're fortunate enough to have another 30-year employee here today. So Miss Brenda Rose, she wasn't able to be with us, but we want to thank her for all of her dedicated service to our community, and what a pleasure it is to have great people to last long with us. Thank you.
At this time, the chair would recognize Chairman James Stepp of the Calendar and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Item 2B or 2A, make the motion to approve the consent calendar items.
All right, we have a motion to approve the consent calendar items. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye, please. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries.
2B, approval of the regular calendar items. I make the motion to approve the regular calendar items.
We have a motion to approve the regular calendar items. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries.
That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Steps. At this time, we're going to open up our meeting for public comments regarding any item that's on the agenda. Please come to the podium, identify yourself and your address, and you'll have 3 minutes. Anyone? Seeing none, then we'll close the public comment session. And at this time, we're going to recess the legislative body and have a public hearing on Resolution 19-23 to amend the zoning map of Hamlin County, Tennessee by rezoning tax map 0119, parcel 055.00, District 4. The address is 7164 East Andrew Johnson Highway, Whitesburg, Tennessee, and request to change that from R1 to C1. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against this change in rezoning? Please come to the podium at this time. Seeing no one, then we're going to close the public comment, public hearing for this zoning change and reconvene as the legislative body. We would entertain a motion to approve this request.
I make a motion,
Okay, Wayne Neesmith moved that we approve. Chris Cutshaw has seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, then all of those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion is approved. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar items.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thomas Doty has moved that we approve. Is there a second?
Second.
James Stepp has seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. At this time, we'll turn over to Chairman Randy DeVore of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On item 7A, you have the monthly checks. Do we have a motion to approve as received?
You make the motion.
I make the motion, and I put it in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a second by Tim Horner. Any discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries.
Item 7B, budget amendments. Number 1, Hamlin County Department of Education budget amendment. Number 2, increase of $235,696.64, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Bobby Hahn. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw, Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Randy DeVore,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yeah.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Stepp,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Item 7B2, Fund 101 for County Mayor 375, and that's for a refund of unused expenditure, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Chris Cutshaw seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, then call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw. Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Stamp,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
Motion's approved.
The motion is approved.
Item 7B3, this is for a Fund 101 mayor, county mayor for $268, and that's a repayment, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Do we have a sec- Thomas Doty seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, then call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw. Randy DeBoer,
Aye.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Step,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Item 7B4, Fund 101, employment benefits of $350, and that's for associates agreement and incentive pay. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Commissioner Aker has seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, then call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw. Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Step,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Item 7B5, Fund 101 for Sheriff's Department, that's $7,089. It's for the narcotics officer supplement, and I put that in the form of a
We
motion.
have a motion, do we have a second? Chris Cutshaw seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw, Randy DeBoer,
Aye.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Step,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Item 7B6, Fund 101 for Sheriff's Department, that is $1,000 for courtroom security, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Tim Horner seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, please call the roll.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw, Randy DeBoer,
Aye.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Tim Step,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Item 7C, Joint Resolution 1925 of the Tennessee General Assembly for the purpose of restoring the emergency communication surcharge rate, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Tim Horner seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of this motion, let it be known by saying aye. Those opposed, the motion carries.
Item 7D, automation of the coroner's reporting, that's for tablets and software, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Mike Minnick. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw, Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Step,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Items, excuse me.
I got a question on it. How much is that gonna cost us for those tablets?
$8,000 and some dollars.
Yeah, they're or about $450 a piece with, the case that goes with it.
You get 3 of them?
5.
5. How about the hardware that goes with it? We gotta pay for that.
The tablet's the hardware, and then the software, we have to pay for the software.
You don't know what that is?
That is around $3,200.
Okay.
Item 7E, quote tabulation for waste removal, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, is there a second? Commissioner Hahn seconds the motion. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Aye.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Mike Minnick,
Aye.
Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley.
Yes.
Jim Stepp,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman of the Board. At this time, we will recognize Vice Chair James Stepp of the Public Service Committee.
Item 8A, Resolution 19 from Martin Hamlin EMS team to reimburse Brown Ambulance provider. I put this in one motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
The board seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries.
Item 8B, approval of 2019 Hamlin County road list. I put this in form of motion.
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second? James Aker seconds the motion. Any discussion?
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Are we ever gonna get that fixed? The right road?
Wayne, did you have a conversation with Barry this week?
With what?
Did you get to talk with Barry this week? I was wondering if you.
No, I was out there the other day. I didn't want to mess up his dinner.
Okay, I didn't know.
The county's calling the road behind my house North Croxdale Road. And the line that it calls for, it calls from old 25, straight shots, and new 25. It doesn't say nothing about a north. I think we've got different roads. Those roads out there, the city's got one thing on it, the county's got something else. It needs to be looked at.
Okay. I'm going to request that Road Commissioner Danny Bell, please check into that for us. Thank you. Okay? Any more discussion? Hearing none then, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries.
All I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Stepp. At this time, the chair will recognize Chairman Chris Cutshaw of the Building and Grounds Committee.
We'll move to number 9A, ADA transition plan. I'll yield to Mayor Britton.
In your commission packet is the formal ADA transition plan that this is a requirement that basically the Federal Highway Administration is requiring the state push down to the counties to put an emphasis on equal access to buildings, any facility that may receive federal funding. And so what this plan does is, it was completed by Wendy Williams, who's our human resource manager and our ADA coordinator, with help from our maintenance department and our building inspector. They evaluated the buildings, the website, county services, and just prioritized the items that need correcting to make sure that folks have equal access to the services. And so in the next budget cycle, we'll be looking at some items that may need to be corrected in some of the buildings. For example, we need to make our website accessible for the blind. And there's a certain way that it can be designed for that, or for hands-free navigation for folks who don't have arms or who are disabled in that way. So we'll be looking at that. And also in the document is a I guess a refined complaint process, which we already had in place. We put in place in 2018, but we refined that in this. So this is a transition plan that basically we're required to have to receive any federal funds, whether they're administered by the state or not. So I ask for adoption.
security grievances, or at the moment you've got some problems?
The ADA coordinator hears the complaints, and then it can be appealed to the county mayor.
Chairman Fisher.
Concerning 9A, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this ADA transition plan.
We have a motion, is there a second? We have a second, Commissioner DeVore. Any comments? Hearing none. Let's call the roll on this since it does require expenditure of funds on some of the items.
Jeff Baker,
Yes.
Chris Cutchall,
Aye.
Randy DeVore,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Aye.
Bobby Hall,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Pepper,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Mike Minnick, Wayne Neesmith,
Aye.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Steph,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
The plan is approved. At this time, we will open the floor to any public comments concerning any business that you want to bring before the county.
Good evening, my name is Linda Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road. I'd like to wish all of you a very, very Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll all see each other next year. I was thinking maybe a gift that you could give to the public would be to go back, look at your jail proposal, and consider the Coffee County pods, or what the sheriff has put on his website, the wagon wheel design. We talked about, or I heard some of the commissioners talking about, oh, we need to, do a bond issue immediately and save money on it. You could save much more money than the interest that was mentioned last time if you eliminate the new Justice Center and renovate the one you have. And instead of doing a 3-story jail with the dangers regarding exits and so forth, if you had a fire or flood or anything like that, and the manpower required for that, you could save a whole lot of money if you went to the pods. But for some reason, just like there was a resistance to letting the people vote on the $85 million initial bond resolution, there's some unknown, and I don't quite understand why, there would be any opposition to looking at this. A lot of you went down there and looked at Coffee County. You saw the jail. Look at the cost of that jail. Yes, it'll be a little bit more now, but it won't be, 55 or so million for the jail and 19 or so for the Justice Center. If it were your money, would you not look at other options, particularly when you have facts and figures that say it's cheaper on the front end, it's cheaper throughout the cycle of usage in terms of operation. So you're not only saving money, you're saving interest. And you have a safer facility for the people who are operating the jail and even for the inmates, again, should there be a fire, a flood, some type of disaster. It's not too late to look at that. I ask that you do that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else?
My name is Edna Green. I live at 4981 Kenwood Road, Morristown, Tennessee. I was talking with Commissioner Cutchall before this meeting started, and I wondered the same thing, why the Chins didn't go back and look at the pods. He told me the Chins were more than willing to work with our sheriff. And I looked at the sheriff's posting on Facebook with pod and so forth, and it makes excellent sense to me. Now, I don't work at the jail. He does. And no offense intended, he knows more about it than anybody else does. So my question to you is, why not go back and look to save the taxpayers some money? We don't need to burden our children and our grandchildren for their adult lives as well as everybody else. The amount that you are looking at is enough to make people have a massive heart attack. And most folks in Hamlin County are poor folks. They're not rich. We have a vast majority of citizens that are on Social Security folks. They will have to rake and scrape to meet that higher property tax bill. And you're not only gonna just hit the property tax owners, you're gonna hit all business owners as well with your personal property tax and everything else. His plan makes sense to me. I don't work at the jail, but I trust his judgment farther than I do most folks. So I've got the same question. Why would you not go back and look? If it was your money, would you go back and look? Instead of the taxpayers' money? If it was coming out of your pocket today, would you go back and look? That's my question to you folks. I would really appreciate it if we consider it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to address the commission?
Go get them, baby.
My name is Melissa Ballou, and I reside at 3728 Halifax Circle. And a few of you commissioners that have been on the board for a while are well aligned on the position that I had with Morristown Humane Society in the past. We had a real hard time, as some of you remember, getting a bad group of people from Noah's Ark that had took over the shelter and were robbing it blind. There was funds that came up missing, $51,000. There was cameras that were damaged. There was theft of a lady's dogs from her property where no warrant was issued. That was all swept under the rug. These same animal right extremists have decided to take back over the shelter through the board, through this new director, Misty Kirk. There was a incident, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, but there was county, whatever they are, that go for ESCO, that work with the people there at the shelter. There was a 17-year-old girl hired at this shelter that apparently was caught with drugs. She's a foster child, which really bothers me, but DCS is another topic for another day. The guy was arrested, one of the inmates under ESCO. Well, apparently now the board president has decided she wants to sweep it under the rug, not tell any of the other board shelter directors, and this 17-year-old child who was caught with drugs and taken to the hospital from the animal shelter, okay? And there's also been accusations, not proof, accusations that there was sexual conduct made with the 29-year-old inmate. I want to know why that's being swept under the rug, and yet they're getting $250,000 a year in taxpayer funding, and nobody's looking into any of this stuff. Everyone's turning a blind eye. You've got an animal control lady that is running a humane society. She is not licensed to be an animal control officer. Jose went through, was paid for by Hamlin County Humane to be a registered, officer. He's about to walk off the job. This is the only person in this county who has the right to drive that animal control truck. But yet you have a director that wants to dictate and drive this brand new truck home. Why does she have to have use of the animal control truck? She has her own vehicle. Jose has used it for years.
Ma'am, your time is up. Thank you for your comment. Anyone else who wishes to address the commission? If not, then we want to remind commissioners and the audience of our January committee meetings, Monday, January the 13th at 5:30 here in this courtroom. And then also of our January commission meeting, Thursday, January the 23rd at 5 p.m. in this courtroom. We wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and may God bless Hamlin County. We stand adjourned.